Hi, this is Mr. Hazel, and today I'm going to show you how to make a movie on a microbit. You're going to need the microbit, of course, and you're going to need a USB cable as well as a battery pack. Now, to start, connect your microbit to your computer and open a web browser. There we go. Once your browser is open, go to makecode.microbit.org. If I'm going too quickly for you, it might be a good idea to pause until you're caught up. And if you haven't watched the introductory video yet, that's a good idea as well, because it just helps to know where everything is. And I'm assuming at this point that you've gone through several of the videos, and so you kind of have an idea about how it goes. All right, so let's dive in. We are going to start a new project, and this project will be called Microbit Movie. There we go. Now we have loaded up our programming portal here. We have this space where we can do our programming. We have the middle menu where we get all of our extra coding bits and blocks. And then we have our simulator where we can try out our program before downloading it onto our microbit. All right, so the movie. We're not going to use on start or forever, so we can bring those into the center and let them go, and they will be deleted. Remember, if you ever delete something that you want back, simply find it again in the menu and click on it to get it back. But just like in the last program we made, we're going to use an input of pressing a button to get the microbit to perform all the code that is inside of this area here. So the input is pressing the A button, and that will be the catalyst that causes the microbit to do all of the code that's in here. So what do we want it to do? What code do we want this microbit program to execute? Well, we want to make a movie. So we are going to go into the basic menu, and we're going to take a look at the different things we've learned so far. So we've done show an icon, and we've looked at show a string, and that's how we did our name tags. But this time we're going to go show LEDs. And if we take a look here, we can see that this block is shaped in such a way that it looks like it will fit into this gap here. Now that is a really good indication that the two will fit together. So let's give it a shot. There we go. They snapped right into place. So now we are going to pop over to our simulator and see what happens when we hit A. Now remember, A is the input that the microbit is waiting for to execute all of the commands that we put in a string inside of that input umbrella. So when I click that input and nothing happens, what that says is that we are not telling it to do very much. Now, it may not be very impressive, but it's much better to find that out in the simulator than it would be to put it all the way onto your microbit, unplug it, plug everything else in, and then realize, ugh, it's not all that exciting. So, if we take a look at this piece of code, we can see that there are 5 squares that are clickable by 5 squares. It's a grid of 25 squares in total, and that matches up with the microbit grid of LED lights that are 5 LED lights by 5 LED lights, or 25 LED lights in total. So let's try clicking on some of them. If I click on a few of these lights, and then hop over to our simulator to see what happens, we can see that these lights light up in relation to the lights or the squares we have selected on our code block. We can test that assumption by unclicking some, and aha! When we use our simulator and give it the input that it's waiting for to execute this block of code, we see that it will change so that the lights that are lighting up on our microbit are the same as the squares that are white on our code block. Well, that's interesting. And if we wanted to draw a picture, then this would be a great way to do it. But we've already done that. Today, we want to make a movie. So, I'm going to unselect these. I think for a movie today, what I would like to do is make some fireworks. Or at least one firework to start. So, I'm going to start with one image of a firework starting off on the ground. Let's try it out on the simulator. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be great. Can you just imagine it now? I can't either. It looks like one dot, but it won't be like that for long. So if I wanted my firework to go higher up, I could click the next box and check on the simulator by pushing the input or the button A to see what it would look like. And again, that's okay, but I really don't want a static image. I want an image that is moving, or a movie. So what I need to do is add another image. So I'm going to go back into the basic menu, click Show LEDs command block again, and I'm going to bring it out and put it underneath my first image. I'm going to unselect the firework going higher in the sky and instead select that on this second image. Now, let's check the simulator again. All right, so we can see that it plays it sequentially. It will execute the commands sequentially, is what I should say. So the first block of code right here, that was the image that was displayed first, and then it moved on to the second block. So if we want this movie to continue, we have to add more blocks of code. I'll come into basic here, get another show LEDs, drag it underneath. I think you can see one of the problems I'm going to run into, and you will too, is that this space is not huge. So there's two ways to get around that. The first is you can come to the side and drag you can drag the bar down to see other parts of the screen. You can go left to right to down here. And another thing you can do is select the subtraction button here to make it smaller. I think I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'll move around, but I'll also have it a little bit bigger than that so I can see it a little bit clearer. Okay, so we will add some more. Here we go. We'll add some more to our movie. Let's see, we'll get the firework lifting off the ground. And instead of always going back into basic and opening with another copying another block of code, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you a faster way. If you right click on where the words are in the coding block, you can click duplicate and it will make an exact copy of the block that you're duplicating. Now, the exciting part about this is that already I can see that my lit up LEDs are exactly the same in both blocks. The reason why this is so awesome is now I don't have to think to myself, okay, I'm one block down and 3 blocks in was the last one that was lit up. No, they're already lit up and ready to go. So I'm going to drag this one underneath, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because I think this firework's about to blow. Duplicate that again there. Scroll down. Okay, and I'm going to have it exploding out. Duplicate it again. See, now all of those lights are still lit up. Okay, it's getting bigger. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this one. And here's another point. You don't have to add them at the end. It's going to play it in exactly the order that you have placed the blocks. It will execute the commands. So the pictures will play out in the exact order that you've placed them. So if I think, I actually want to go back in and add something else, you can do that. You can just duplicate or go to basic, show LEDs, and add another block and put it in wherever you would like it to be. So I'm looking here and thinking we started here, then we went here. I sort of think for this one, it would be nice to have kind of a bigger size of an explosion. I'm going to take those away. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm going to duplicate this one, and I think for the pieces of that firework, these ones would have disappeared, and these ones would be falling all the way back down to the ground. And then my final code block, I think is going to be empty, because I sort of want it to finish as nothing. Now I'm too impatient to see this on the simulator. I want to go straight to the ellipses, click download to microbit, and over here I can go ahead and find the microbit. On this computer it's on the D drive, and make sure it says microbit at the top so I'm saving it in the right file or in the right folder. Click save, and my orange LED light is flashing, which means that it is writing onto the microbit itself. So I'm going to wait until that LED light becomes a solid orange again, which it just did, and now I can disconnect it, and I'm going to connect my battery pack. Once again, the ridge on the battery pack and the channel on the microbit should line up so that we don't cause any damage to the microbit. Now, before it's going to show me my movie, I have to supply it with the input that it's waiting for, which is pressing the A button, right? Let's see what happens. There we go. It works. Our movie of a firework going up, exploding, and falling back to the ground worked perfectly. So now you know how to make a movie on a microbit. If you need some ideas, some suggestions, a really good suggestion is a ball bouncing from one side of the screen onto the ground and back out the other, or anything else that you can imagine. Good luck and have fun.